Okay. Here goes nothing, I guess. Yeah, this is me. I'm just trying to get my head around this whole thing. So, welcome to our very, very first episode of a new station called Buzzcam TV. And before you ask, no, I'm not a DJ. I just like playing music in the background because most of the time when I go live or watch live YouTube videos, it's pretty quiet in the background, and you know, it's boring, really. So I thought I'll liven it up with a bit of music. Some nice tracks going on. So like, if you don't like it, switch off, I guess. All right, so. Buzzcam TV is the station that we're listening to, watching it, and my name is Randy France. I'll get this right one day. My name is Randy France. I'm your resident tech junkie, a TJ, so to speak. So not a DJ. It is our very first broadcast, so everything's going to be a bit iffy. And you'll see me looking over here all the time because purely the fact is that I am doing this all by myself, and I am doing it completely live, which is one of the things that makes this broadcast different than, you know, the most YouTube videos you see. This is not edited. This is pure live, and it's scary as hell. First thing I want to do is a few shout outs to a couple of people that helped me make this happen today. Keith from the Audio Collective was kind enough to lend me an input box for the audio system that I'm running, as well as Medicine Productions. They lend me a switcher for a couple of days so I can actually get my head around the actual Blackmagic program, etc., etc. So right now we're just, you know, chatting, but like what we're actually here to do is to today, or figuring out what we're actually supposed to do on this TV show. And today it's going to be a reveal, or not a reveal, an unboxing and a demo and my first impression of a new device. The device I'm talking about is, let me see, I can do this, I know I can, is this. Yeah, that thing right there, okay? It's the all-new Blackmagic design ATEM MINI Pro. Now it's a baby switcher, and the people that already had their experiences with the ATEM Mini. Sorry, if I sound nervous, it's because I am. It's because, you know, like the ATEM Mini came out late last year, I believe, and a few weeks ago I actually was very much hoping to what's the word, to grab one. I was a little late on the uptake, and therefore I end up missing out on getting it. But then a couple of weeks ago I decided, you know what, I finally have the money, I'm going to order one. I missed out on it. A couple of weeks ago I did put one on back order, and then the day after I saw Graham Petty from Blackmagic Design, and he did a video on the brand new Mini Pro. And of course, the Mini Pro is, you know, like it's different. So like, I'll show you what happened when we first, a couple of days ago, when my four-legged fur doorbell woke me up in the morning. I knew it was there, so I came, ran out, and this is what happened. Here we go. So yeah, thanks to the streaming guys for the really quick delivery of this device. It came in express post. It was here on Thursday morning, and it's given me a couple of days to actually get to know the unit. The unit is impeccable. It's like it's paperwork, and then the usual PowerPoints. You can plug it in worldwide basically, and then the unit itself. It was actually heavier, chunkier, and more solid build than I thought it would be. So I was quite surprised. Then I was looking for the instruction manual, and I was showing off the SD card that's not there. But then I realized I didn't read the card, and the card says online manual and software download to reduce the waste to help the environment. Very good on you, boys. Really, really good on you. I love that. So let me go the right direction. So so there it is. It is a great device, and I've had a couple of days with it now, and I thought I'll show you a bit of the ins and outs that I've had experiences with the device so far. Of course, I'm one of the guys that unpacks it and just want to do everything without even looking at the manual. And then you realize how much you actually stuffed it up. So let's go have a look at this thing. Right. So the unit is small, as you can see. It's almost very basic, but the Pro and the Mini have a few distinctive differences. But we'll go through all the ins and outs on the box and the actual surface as well. So we'll start on the top here. It's got two 1/8 inch or 3.5 millimeter stereo inputs for mic, and after a day of fiddling around and complaining that it was a mic level thing, there is actually setting to change it to line level, which is what I did, because as you can tell, I'm running an external audio device into it. Next, there is 4 HDMI auto scaling inputs. Now that's pretty nifty. That is something you sometimes don't even get in the more expensive devices. Basically, what it does, it takes any camera that you have running at 1080 and it scales it to the output, and I'm running 1080/30 at the moment, and it scales it all to the 1080/30 for me, without me having to, like in the other devices, like I was working with a different ATEM before, and I had to actually make sure that all my cameras were working at 1080/50 to make sure that the device would actually see it. It was a bit of fiddling around. With this thing, plug in and go. It was pretty awesome. All right, next over we have one more HDMI. That's a multifunctional HDMI. It can do it can do just straight HDMI out, like a program output. It can have isolated outputs of each input that you're using, or it can have which is unique to this device over the standard Mini, a multi-view output. Unfortunately, I can't throw the multi-view output online to line, because that would cause the feedback loop. It would just start looking funky. Right, we'll get back to that later too. Next to that is a mini USB-C, I should say. I'll get the terminology right there too. A USB-C. Now that USB-C is also a multifunctional device. One is you can hook it up to your laptop or your computer and actually have the software control with it, or you can stream through it as well. It has the same functionality as with the standard Mini, where you can plug it into your computer. Your computer will recognize it as a webcam, and the webcam can then be placed into something like an OBS or a Streamcaster or whatever you use to throw into the internet. And the final function, which I really like on this, is the fact that it can also take out as you can see right now, it can also go straight into a hard drive, which gets recognized in the software, and also, we'll get to that later as well. It lights up on your screen saying, okay, there's a hard drive there, I'm ready to record. So it can also record the whole session if you wanted to. I'm not doing that tonight because, well, I don't think I'll ever want to see this session again, ever. Okay, onto the top part of the board. The top part of the board is fairly, again, self-explanatory if you know a little bit about audio-visual. The 4 main buttons here, one green, numbered 1 to 4, right, are your cameras, or your inputs. They correlate to the 4 HDMI inputs that are on the back, and they come to the front, so you can, like, that's cam 2, cam 1, Cam 4. Cam 3 is the one that's live at the moment. So I have it set up. You can actually set it up in the software differently. You can have it either as a direct cut, so if you hit the button, it automatically cuts to that particular scene, or you can have it as a green being preview and red being program. So if I were to hit cut, you won't see this, but the green button turns red and the red button turns green. Now, what I can do is, if I leave this on, no, I can't do it. Yeah, I can do this. If I do it this way, you'll notice that on my screen here, you can see a red button and a green button, and they'll change sides because that's just switching it over, right? So, the control is quite simple. Above these 4 buttons are arrays of 6 buttons on each button. Those 6 columns belong to that input that's below it. They are all part of the audio system. There is an off button, which is off, obviously. There's an on button, which turns the sound that's coming through that HDMI port on permanently over everything. Then there's a reset button, which turns your fader back to 0. These 2 buttons here are the up and down for your fader. I'll show that in a little bit more detail later. And this one here is the old AFV, which stands for Audio Follows Vision, which means that if you have a camera over there let me switch this over. The camera on that camera, a microphone on that camera, and it were to follow, I've got another camera set over there, but follow that camera over there. Hang on a second, you can't even see that because I'm yeah, okay. I'll get this right in a second. All right, so you have a microphone on that camera over there, right? And you have your audio follows vision on, and you were to switch to that camera over there. If you have that on, the audio will also automatically come from that microphone over there, which is pretty nifty in a way. It's the way we work in broadcast, where we set up microphones next to the camera on, say, a big car racing track. The microphones are in the camera, so when the director gets the switcher to switch to that particular camera, they know exactly, you know, automatically you get the audio feed that is at that camera, from that camera, the microphones that are at that camera, they are automatically live. So when they're following that car, that certain car, you can hear that car coming and going in stereo fashion, right? All right, onwards. Above that are two more lots of buttons, 4 respectively, and they correlate to the 2 stereo audio inputs. Again, up and down, on and off, right? There's no reset or audio follows vision because there's no vision going into there. On the side here, 2 more buttons. One's a still button that would go to whatever still I got loaded up. But I got nothing loaded up in the still, so I won't go there. And the blackout button, right? So basically, if I turn the blackout button on and cut it, it goes black, as it does. Above here, that is your picture-in-picture. So you can, this will give you the corner of what the picture is going to be in. I actually don't know whether I've actually set it up. Let me have a look. I forgot to set this up before I came here today, didn't I? What am I trying to do? I can't remember what I'm trying to do here. Okay. So I'll take camera 1 and I put that in the top right-hand corner and I turn it on. There you go. So you can take top right-hand corner, top left-hand corner, top right-hand corner, bottom right-hand corner, bottom left-hand corner. Now I'm still trying to figure out, I mean, I know I can resize it and move it away, right? So I can move it up and down, I can make it bigger, but I'm sure somewhere along the line there is a point where I can actually save these settings, which would be really handy because, like, what do you call it? The default setting is a small box right in the little corner over here, right? And like usually when you do a picture-in-picture, you want something a little bigger, something you can actually see the picture on. And so yeah, that's one of the settings I'm still working out. But then, you know, I'm working on a lot of things, a lot of stuff in this thing. Okay, so we go above the three big buttons on the right-hand side here: cut, auto, and FTB. Cut is cuts to the other camera. Auto is an auto fade. It usually has it in a mix. And then on there is the fade to black, which you will see right at the end of the show when I hit that button. Right. Above the cut button, there's four other buttons that gives you a different time for the fade. So if you want a slow fade, over, there you go. Sorry, if you want a fast fade, you go half a second up to 2 seconds. So you get a nice little slow mix. Generally I'll have it in a 1 second thing, but I'll explain some of that stuff later on as well. Above the auto section, there's still 6 buttons that can give you different kind of effects. I keep it on mix. The 90s are over, 80s are over, 70s are over. I keep it on mix. The other buttons are great for things like corporate events, children's events, stuff like that, weddings, fantastic. You're doing a video, stuff like that, great. But in live TV, mix or cut 90% of the times. Right. Above the FTB, another 6 buttons, right? Now, these are all correlating to that HDMI output that I have running here, and I've got it into my preview monitor over there. So that gives me a multi-view. This gives me the ISO of camera 1, camera 2, camera 3, camera 4. So I can see the inputs separately, or I can just switch to a big program and I can fill the whole screen with the program that's going on. So I can actually isolate this. If I were to be in a live show and I wanted a certain person in the room, a certain projector in the room, just having one particular view, I would just hit that ISO button, and they would have that particular vision in their view. Right. Now the top 6. The top 6. Okay, the top 6 are the keys on and off. Right, I'm not even sure if I got nothing keyed in. So, oh yeah, I'm keyed in, aren't I? Yeah, that's it. All right, so that's now, the key in is now, my goodness. Key in is when you want to do some overlays and stuff, right? Handy, or even the key in you can also use for green screening. Green screening, that's the word I'm looking for. When you want to do an overlay on green screen, look pretty and have a different background and tell people that you're actually in Paris when you're in downtown Campbelltown. Nothing is wrong in Campbelltown, okay? Nothing, honestly. All right, the next 2 buttons over, your record button. Okay, now I'll quickly describe the record button for you. Basically, it does exactly what it says. It records. So you have the hard drive plugged in, the green light will come on. Green light means that the hard drive is ready to record. I push that button, you'll notice the light goes red. Hard drive recording. Okay, great. I'll leave that running for a second and I can look back at that later. Now the last 2 buttons are very simple. On air, off air. If I push the off, then I disappear. I don't think you'd really care. Push the on air button. Once you set up everything in your media browser, this thing actually streams directly out of here. You can do it through your laptop. Pardon me. You can do that through your laptop, but it would only use your laptop as a server, so to speak, just to get out to the internet, or as a router to get out to the internet. I'm plugged in directly into my home internet system via LAN, via hardwire, and I think it's the fastest way to actually get out of here. My data rate currently is 6 megasecond, and I should be coming across not too bad. So that's the top. Did I forget to mention it? Oh, I did forget to mention that. I got all excited after that hard drive thing. So on the back here is also the IJ45 cable, which connects to your computer or your network. Once you set your IP addresses, your static IP addresses, you can actually access this device from any computer that's on your network. And you can even set it up for remote entry, so remote control. So someone across the pond could be doing some graphics and they could upload it to your machine, and it would be there. You know, like I just did a bunch of stuff like that. Try it out via Adobe. Photoshop has a plugin, and once you set up all the ATEM software on that particular computer, you can type in the IP address of this device, and it would find this device in your network. You can then do an alpha overlay, and you can actually drop it straight into the media player, which is pretty good. Anyway, I'm getting a bit off topic here now. I thought we'd get onto the software up here, and again, it's a pretty good deal. What am I going to do? I'm going to go over here. What do you reckon? Yeah, okay. Yeah, great. You can't see half the buttons because my face is in the way. Well, let me take my face out of the way. So I'll go with my mouse, a little easier. Oops, that's not what I want to do. So these are the program and preview buttons. You change this, and then the green stays there, changes. You change that, and then obviously your program changes. Right? Go to black, and go to black. You got color bars, and then you got colors that you can pick, random, if anything. That is my logo that I have stuck in the media player, and that's basically the main control area of your cameras, of your inputs. Your background and keys, that's again for the overlay kind of stuff. Transition style, stick with mix. Okay, I'll show you what a dip looks like, right? You can take a dip, you can generally choose the color you take, but then if you hit the auto button, it dips to a color, and then it comes back to the screen. Right? It's, you know, wipe, do a wipe, oh, wonderful. Right, or the DVE, I don't even know what the DVE, oh, okay, great. Right, so you can do all this stuff. It's pretty basic. Well, it's not basic. It's actually quite great for stuff that you want to do corporately or on a wedding or something like that. Over here we have the same as on the actual hardware, the cut and auto button. Right, so auto is the fade, and the cut is the cut. Previous transition. If you've been using the DVE, let me put myself on the screen again. There you go. If you've been using the DVE and you wanna go back to that previous cut that you did, you can actually do that by hitting the previous transition. It also has this huge bar on it, right there, right, and that works just like a real big time switcher, where you can go up and down and transition, and you sit in the middle and watch 3 pictures at the same time. No, it makes me dizzy. All right, so now earlier you saw the transitions coming on the screen of what we were doing, who I was, my name, and all this stuff. Now those are preloaded in the media player, and in this section here actually puts it in there. You can either tie it along, you can click on there it is. You can tie it, or you can auto. Auto is basically you fade it in, a bit nicer, right? If you tie it, that means that next time you switch, and it'd be really weird because it's going to come over on my on the other camera. But I'll just do that for you now. Tie it. I'll hit auto, And there you see that logo up the top, right? Now, while that is on air, that red light's actually on. And you can actually, while it's on air, I'll show you, while it's on air, you can actually click that auto button and the logo will disappear. Right? Back to the software. FTB, fade to black. Now it has 4 pages, so that's the main switcher page, your media page. This is where you load up all the pretty pictures you're going to be putting in. Audio page. Now, I wanted to talk a bit about the audio page, but I think I'm going to be running out of time. Half an hour. Oh, look, that's quick, isn't it? Audio page. You can do all sorts of stuff. Dynamics, which is compressor, expander, gates, limiter. If you're an audio guy, you'd know what that means. Equalizer. Yeah, you can change the graphical shape of. Oh, geez, my light just came back on. The shape of the sound of that particular input by taking the bass up, bass down, treble down, mid, sub, treble. I'll give it to you that way. Over here we have the faders, and as I said before, if I were to, on this fader here, if I were to say on that channel, I were to hit reset, it will automatically go back to the 0 mark. Reset, there you go. Same with that one. Reset. Now you see numbers above here, and those are the numbers that are actually of the levels that are coming in. And you don't see a number in there because the computer is actually not putting out any audio over that HDMI. Any questions on the audio, please ask, because I can go very deep into that. Camera control. Now, if you're lucky enough to be able to afford to buy 3 or 4 Blackmagic design pocket camera 4Ks or 6Ks, then you're very lucky, because you can actually have an update for those cameras now that gives you full camera control. Oh, let me get my face out of the way. They can give full camera control over those cameras, including that's your levels, your basically your iris up and down. That's your gains or your lift, sorry. So make it darker, makes it shallower, less contrasting. It's got a zoom function if you've got a zoom, appropriate zoom angle on it. Focus function, it can do all the stuff that you can do on the camera right here, and then you can even go full screen, where you can separate your lift, your gamma, and your gain. You even add your contrast, your hue, saturation, and RGB. Right. So yeah, if you are lucky enough to able to get these cameras, then it'd be really, really good for you to have that kind of camera control. I'm doing a one-man show already, so I have my hands full. It's doing my head in. The good thing is you can actually put a camera controller on the same network as the ATEM, and then it will take over those controls, which is pretty good. Right, over here, on the right of your screen, you have these several different pull-down menus. Now, up the top here is a color generator. You can change the color in the background. If you pick a color like blue, and you say OK, and you hit color 1, everything goes blue. Right? So you can change the color of that. Great. Next one is your upstream key, which is your chroma settings, luma settings for when you want to do a green screen. You can do a pattern. Again, the DV, not my thing. Same as the DV, it's a picture-in-picture at the moment, right? So I can actually do different things with it, which I really don't want to do. I want you to be able to have a bit of eye contact with me. Right. Then we've got transitions. There we'll keep with the transitions. You can change to the different transitions, and you can change the rate or how fast the transition will go. Oh geez, what have I done? Gosh, that's not what I wanted to do, did I? There you go. Oh, where was I? Oh, okay, I was in patterns. Yay! Right. Go back to there. DV, we'll keep that digital video effect. We're just doing that stuff. The transitions, you can put in different time and different transmissions. Downstream key is more or less the background of the upstream key. I'm not going to go into that. I probably don't know enough about it. The fade to black, it just changes the fade to black kind of stuff. You can change the amount of time, and you can have the audio follow the video, which is actually not a bad idea. Let's do that. Okay, click that on. All right, media player. So in the media player, as you saw in the media channel here, you have all these different things that you've already collected. And then you can put in the media player the still that you want to bring up, right? I'm not going to put that up because that'll be the next one that'll be turned up. Output, very important. Right, I'm on air, yay. I can take that off, not yet. And that would just basically take me off air, put me on air. I've got chosen YouTube primary and my key there, which will change very shortly anyway. Then my record here, the record section of it all. It tells you that you are recording. It tells you the file name, mine's a test record, and drive 1. It tells you the time. And it says there's no second drive connected. Now, if you have a bay, which has 2 drives in it, you can actually choose which drive you're going to be recording on. Pretty handy. Capture video. Well, I don't have one of those things. And there's down the bottom is a timecode generator. Holy hell! I've been on it for 35 minutes. That's not good. I got to learn how to make this shorter. All right. So I'm going to stop the record, and I'll do it on the device, and you'll see the record stop. There you go. Okay, and just to start recording, I can just hit record and off we go. Now on the bottom here, actually I will start recording again. Good luck, I want to show you on the bottom. On the bottom here, you can actually see the on-air status and what bit rate we're flying at, and whether the recorder is on and off, right? So that's on all the time, which is pretty cool. Even if we're on different screen, that is on all the time. When you have a multi-view screen, it doesn't matter because it's actually on screen. I can see right down the bottom there that I've been on air for way too long, and then I've recorded. I'm wasting way too many megabits on recording, so I'm just going to turn the recording off. So, yeah, what else? I don't know. That's it, inside and out. So let's go back to there and get rid of my... Okay. So, motion. I love motion. It's fun. So yeah, that is the ATEM Mini Pro in a nutshell. Actually, it doesn't come in a nutshell. It comes in a little box. But it's a great device. It's very versatile. It can do all sorts of stuff that really that you could pay tons of money for another device. Is my battery running flat? Really? I'm not surprised. I'm on way too long. But yeah, it's a fantastic device. You can switch between cameras from here to there, and you can either cut it, or as I said, you can cut it, or you can auto it. So yeah, it is very versatile. It is very cool to have. So yeah, that's what I was going to do today. So I've done what I needed to do, and I'm quite happy with that. I think, honestly. Now, if you're watching me, then you are probably watching me on here, but I'm also there, and there. Right? Not right now. I've got to do something about that Twitch logo. It's see-through. Right, not right now, but next week. Next week I'll be starting a new show. I'm hoping. Right. That show is probably going to go live on Wednesday, and I'm hoping to get some Australian talent to play live on the show, either in their place or right here in the sub-basement 2 floors down. Funny, that's what I call it. But yeah, that is on Wednesday. I won't ponder on too much about that. But if you want to come on Wednesday, come have a look. It's great. It'd be good to see you there. My social stuff. There. Oh, jeez. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's going to be a show that I'm looking forward to getting something happening. I've been watching so many YouTube or Facebook concerts that just talent-wise they're all there, but the actual tech-wise, the actual video and the sound was lacking, I guess is the word. And as a tech, as your resident tech junkie, I thought that was that one thing that I could address and hopefully be able to talk to. Hopefully, I'll be able to talk to. Oh, really? You're kidding me? Oh, no. Hopefully, I'll be able to talk to my local talent pool of musicians and instrumentalists, and see if we can do something better. Really hope that. Well, that's it from me for now. All I can say is thank you very much if anyone's watching out there, for which I greatly doubt. But if you want to come back again, come visit me. Show's called, the channel's called Buzzcam TV. My name is Randy Rance, Tech Junkie, and thanks for watching. See you next time, hopefully.